Welcome to the deep dive. So, you're thinking about moving to Portugal, which sounds amazing, right? But let's be real, figuring out a whole new country systems. It can feel like a bit of a maze.
Definitely.
Today, we're going to try and cut through some of that complexity. We're tackling one of the big ones for families, the Portuguese education system, especially what it means for those of you coming from abroad.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
Right. So our mission here on this deep dive, it's basically to be your shortcut. We've sifted through a whole stack of detailed stuff, official ministry guidelines, the legal bit.
Oh, the dense document.
Exactly. But also those practical expat guides, the ones packed with real-world tips from people who've actually done it. And we're distilling it down, trying to pull out the most crucial info you really need to know.
Right.
The goal is to arm you with maybe some surprising facts and definitely the essential takeaways so you feel, confident about handling school enrollment in Portugal.
And these sources, they really do cover a lot of ground. This deep dive, it isn't just about the how you fill out the forms.
Right.
It's also about the why it matters.
Yeah.
Understanding the strategy behind it, the bigger picture, so you can make, really informed choices along the way.
Okay, so let's kick things off with that big picture. What does the Portuguese education system actually look like on the ground?
Okay.
Well, it's broken down into three main stages. First up, you've got preschool, this is optional, for kids age 3 to 5. Then comes basic education básica. Now, this part is mandatory. It starts at age 6 and goes right through to 15. That covers grades 1 through 9, and it's split into 3 cycles.
3 cycles within that.
Exactly. And after basic ed, you have secondary education, ensino secundario, which is grades 10 to 12. The really key thing to grasp here is that education in Portugal is compulsory from age 6 all the way through age 18.
Right, until you finish 12th grade.
Or until you successfully complete that 12th grade, yeah. So it's a long commitment.
It is.
Now, when it comes to the types of schools, you actually have quite a few choices, and they're pretty different.
There's definitely variety.
First, public schools. These are free, no tuition fees. Textbooks are often provided too, which is a nice perk.
That helps.
They follow the national curriculum, and teaching is all in Portuguese. Getting in usually means using the national online system, the Portal das Matriculas. We'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
Then you have private schools. These do have fees, maybe around 400, 500 euro a month for primary, could be more. Often they have smaller classes, and some might offer bilingual programs or international streams.
So a bit more flexibility, maybe?
Possibly, yeah. You apply directly to these schools, and their deadlines can be all over the place.
Right, not standardized like the public ones.
Exactly. And finally, there are the international schools. These tend to be the most expensive. You could be looking at 8,000 euros a year, or even quite a bit more.
Yeah, significant jump.
Definitely. They follow foreign curricula like the IB or British A-levels or American systems. And teaching is usually in English or maybe another language. Admissions are handled individually by each school.
What's fascinating here, I think, is just the range of options.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important it is to think about what fits your family, your needs, your long-term plans. Are you aiming for full immersion, or do you need to stick with an international curriculum?
That's a great point. It's not just about finding a school, but the right school. Needs some upfront thinking.
Definitely requires some strategic thought right at the start.
Okay, let's dive into the timing, because honestly, this might be the trickiest part. Portugal runs on a very specific annual timetable for school enrollment.
Yes, the deadlines. Crucial.
Absolutely crucial. Hitting these deadlines gives you priority for placement. So, just as an example, let's look at the dates for the upcoming 2025-26 school year. They're quite precise.
Okay, what are we looking at?
For preschool and the very first grade, the window is April 22nd to May 31st. Pretty early.
Right, springtime.
Then, for kids moving into 4th and 5th grade, that transition into the second cycle of basic ed, the enrollment period is shorter, July 1st to the 11th.
Midsummer.
Then, for the older kids in basic ed, grades 6 through 9, and also for 11th grade and secondary, it's June 16th to the 27th.
Back a bit earlier in the summer.
And finally, for those starting 10th grade or entering the final 12th grade, the window is July 15th to the 22nd.
Okay, so quite specific windows for different stages.
Very specific. And the big takeaway here is apply on time. On-time applications get priority. Period.
And if you miss it.
You can still apply later, but you're basically just hoping for a leftover spot. It's strictly if available.
So no guarantees at all.
None, which is why a major tip we saw in the sources is Try to be in Portugal by March or April. Get settled, get your documents ready before that first big rush for preschool and first grade applications hits.
That makes sense. Avoid the scramble.
You really don't want to be scrambling with this.
This raises an important point, though. Why are these deadlines so critical? I mean, beyond just getting a spot.
Well, it's about securing that place with priority. Getting into one of your preferred schools, ideally the one closest to you.
Right. And it connects to renewals, too, doesn't it? Because renewing enrollment, just moving up a grade in the same school, that's usually automatic.
Usually, yes.
But if anything changes, you move house, you need a different school, maybe switch to a different program track in secondary, then you need a whole new matricula, a new registration.
Ah, okay. So you're back into the application process.
You're back in the system, and those deadlines suddenly become critical all over again.
Got it. Okay, so we know the school types, we know the crucial deadlines. How do you actually do the registration? What's the process?
Yeah, the mechanics.
There are basically two main ways, but one is definitely the standard now.
The online way.
Exactly. For public schools, the main route is online using the Portal das Matriculas. Think of it like a central hub for all public school enrollment in the country.
Okay.
You log in as the encargado de educación. That's the official term for the parent or guardian responsible.
Right, the main contact.
And you'll need a way to prove who you are digitally. You can use your Portuguese ID card, the cartão de cidadão, if you have one.
Which many new residents might not have immediately.
True. Or you can use something called the Chave Móvel Digital. It's like a digital key linked to your phone number and ID.
Okay, that's useful.
Or, and this is often the easiest for new arrivals who've sorted their finances, you can use your login details for the tax authority, the finances, basically your NIF number and password.
So that NIF is key again.
Absolutely. Once you're logged into the portal, you fill in all your child's details, and then you get to list your preferred schools. You can usually propose up to 5 in order of preference.
Prioritize them.
Yeah, and you select any specific programs if relevant, like maybe vocational tracks in secondary school. And here's a really important tip. Make sure you indicate if there are siblings already at one of the schools or applying at the same time.
Because that gives you priority.
It often gives you significant priority in the matching process. Schools try to keep families together.
That makes sense.
Now, what if you really genuinely can't use the online portal? Maybe tech issues, language barrier is too high initially.
Is there an alternative?
There is. You can go in person and submit the documents directly at the main office of your local Agrupamento de Escolas. That's like the administrative cluster for several schools in your area.
Okay, the school group headquarters.
Kind of, yeah. But, and this is important, even if you apply in person, the same priority rules and deadlines still apply. You don't get to jump the queue.
Right, it doesn't change your place in line.
Exactly. So really, the online portal is the smoother, standard path if you can manage it.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that Portal das Matriculas, it's really a prime example of Portugal's move towards digital government services. It's designed for efficiency, absolutely. But it also means that getting your digital credentials sorted, your NIF login, maybe that Chave Móvel Digital is pretty much essential for navigating loads of official things in Portugal, not just schools.
Yeah, it unlocks a lot.
It does. The portal standardizes the school process, which is good, but being prepared with your logins and documents beforehand, that makes all the difference, especially when you're new to the whole system.
Okay, let's talk documents, the paperwork. This is often the part that feels most daunting, right? But we can break it down.
The infamous document checklist.
Exactly. Enrollment always needs official documents, and seriously, getting these gathered before you even think about clicking submit online is a total game changer.
Preparation is key.
Absolutely. Now, the exact list might vary slightly school to school, but here's what you'll typically need. First, your child's ID and a photo.
Okay.
So for foreign kids, that's their passport, plus any visa or residence card they might already have, and you'll need a recent passport-style photo.
Standard stuff.
Yep. Then the guardian's ID too, your passport or cartão de cidadão.
Right.
And, surprise, surprise, the NIF number, your Portuguese tax number. Either the child's or the guardian's schools sometimes ask for it. It varies.
That NIF again seems unavoidable.
Pretty much. You absolutely need that NIF. It's your unique ID for almost everything official in Portugal: banking, healthcare access, taxes, and yes, school registration. Can't stress that enough.
Got it. NIF is critical. What else?
Proof of address. This is really important. You need something current, like a utility bill in your name or a rental contract.
Okay.
Or you can go to your local parish council office, the Junta de Freguesia, and they can issue an official attestado de residencia, a certificate confirming you live there.
That's useful if you don't have bills in your name yet.
Exactly. And crucially, this address must be within the municipality, the council area where you're applying for the school. Your address determines your catchment area, basically.
Makes sense. Local schools for local residents.
Then your child's birth certificate needs to be a certified copy. And if it's not Portuguese, it'll need an official translation and likely an apostille stamp from your home country to verify it.
Okay, translation and apostille. That takes time.
It does. Plan ahead for that. If your child has been in school before, you'll need their previous school records, transcripts, report cards.
To show their level.
Exactly. Helps with grade placement. And again, if they're foreign documents, they'll need that apostille and translation too.
Right. More translations.
Yep. Also, a vaccination record. The Portuguese call it the Boletim de Vacinas. You might be able to use your home country's record if you get it officially translated, or you can take it to a local Portuguese health center, and they can transfer the information onto a Portuguese record.
Okay, health center can help there.
Sometimes they might also ask for your child's Portuguese health number, the número de udente, if you've registered with the National Health Service already.
If you have it.
If you have it. And then there are situational documents, things like proof of family status, if you're applying for benefits like subsidized school meals.
Right, for support programs.
And very importantly, if your child has any special educational needs, you need to provide the official technical pedagogical report outlining those needs when you enroll.
So they get the right support from day one.
Precisely. Now, a big tip from the sources. Gather everything, scan it all, maybe even create a single combined PDF file before you start the online application. It just makes uploading smoother.
The practical advice.
And remember, even if you upload all the documents together for multiple kids, you still need to fill out and submit a separate online enrollment form for each child.
One application per child. Got it. You know, looking at that list, it seems really thorough. But what's insightful is that it's not just random bureaucracy.
Doesn't feel like it, no.
It feels like it's designed to make sure the school has a complete picture of the child. It ensures they're placed correctly, yes, but also that they get access to the right support services, whether that's language help, learning support, or even those meal subsidies.
Yeah, it's quite integrated.
It really speaks to Portugal's approach to student well-being.
Yeah.
But it absolutely means that being proactive, especially with those translations and apostilles before you arrive, can save you a massive amount of stress later on.
Definitely. Okay, so we know the steps, the documents, but what about the real world? Like, how does it actually play out depending on where you are in Portugal and maybe your citizenship?
Yeah, the regional differences in status. Good points.
Let's talk demand. It's not the same everywhere. In the big expat hubs, think Lisbon, Porto, down in the Algarve, public schools are often really popular, sometimes oversubscribed.
High demand area.
Exactly. So the advice we saw consistently is enroll as early as humanly possible in those areas and use all 5 of those preference slots on the application portal. List multiple schools.
Don't just put your top choice.
Definitely not. In fact, in really dense areas, some guides even suggest applying to all the public schools in your local council area that cover your child's grade level, just to maximize your chances.
Wow, apply to everything.
It sounds like overkill, but it might be necessary in some spots. And here's a key piece of info. If somehow no school accepts your child from your list, which can happen in very pressured areas, you need to contact the National Schools Authority. It's called DGEAC.
DGESTE.
Right. By law, they have to find a placement for every resident child. They'll coordinate with schools to get your child a spot somewhere.
Okay, so there's a safety net, but you need to actively reach out to them.
You do. Now, contrast that with smaller towns or more rural areas. Usually, there's more space available in schools there.
Less pressure on places.
Generally, yes. Though the flip side might be fewer resources for things like intensive English or Portuguese as a second language support. It's a trade-off.
Right. And about that proof of address again.
Ah, yes. The Junta de Freguesia, your local parish council. They can issue that official residence certificate, the Attestado de Residencia, often for free, which is super helpful if you're still waiting for utility bills in your name.
Good tip for newcomers.
Now, what about EU versus non-EU kids? This comes up a lot.
Yeah, doesn't make a difference.
The really important baseline is, legally, all children living in Portugal as residents have the right to attend school. Doesn't matter where they're from.
That's great news. Universal access.
It is. Now, for kids who are EU citizens, it's pretty straightforward. They have the exact same rights to schooling as Portuguese kids. And, importantly, they're entitled to free introductory Portuguese classes to help them settle in.
Language support is built in.
For non-EU children, they also have the right to enroll, provided they have legal residency status. This usually means having their passport plus a valid residence permit, the autorización de residencia, or the relevant visa paperwork, along with that essential NIF number.
So legal residency is the key differentiator there.
It's the prerequisite. But once they have that legal status, they enroll in public schools under the exact same rules as everyone else. And they can also access Portuguese language support programs and other inclusion initiatives.
Okay, so the process is the same once residency is sorted.
Pretty much, yeah. The paperwork proving residency is the main difference at the outset.
It's interesting, though. While the right to education is universal, the actual experience on the ground can still vary quite a bit, can't it? Based on location, the school's resources?
For sure.
It raises a question beyond just language support. What other specific systems are in place to help with the broader cultural integration of foreign kids? And does that differ much between, say, a big city school used to diversity versus a smaller, more traditional rural school?
That's a really nuanced point. It's not just about learning Portuguese verbs, it's about feeling like you belong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Understanding those subtle differences is pretty crucial for families aiming for a really smooth transition, I think.
So knowing all this, the types, the timing, the documents, the regional quirks, how do you actually choose the best school for your child? What should you be looking for?
Beyond just getting a place, finding the right place.
Right. Location is obviously huge. Proximity often wins, especially for younger kids. But remember, you can apply to any school in your district by listing it on the portal, not just the closest one.
Mm-hmm.
Then curriculum is key, national Portuguese curriculum. Or do you need an international one like IB or British? And closely linked to that is the language of instruction.
Big decision point there.
Huge. You might also want to look into a school's reputation or its results in the national exams. Portugal has these exams in 4th, 9th, and 12th grades.
The data public.
Some of it is, yeah. The Ministry of Education publishes rankings, sometimes called the ranking base. You can find information online, but honestly, talking to other parents is invaluable. Online forums, local Facebook groups, that's where you get the real scoop.
Yeah, the word on the street perspective.
Definitely. Now, language support is critical if your child isn't fluent in Portuguese. Look for schools with strong PLNM programs.
PLNM?
Portuguese Língua Não Materna. Portuguese as a non-native language. Most public schools are required to assess new non-native speakers and provide extra language classes if needed, usually aiming to get them from like A1, A2 beginner levels up to B1, B2 intermediate or beyond.
So there's a structured approach.
There is. You can also ask about other support, like after-school tutoring, or maybe if the school has cultural mediators. Those are specific roles the government has been expanding. They added nearly 300 new positions just in 2024 to help immigrant kids and families navigate the school system.
Oh, that's a significant investment in support.
It seems like it, yeah. Finally, think about class size and the general school culture. Public school classes can sometimes be quite large, maybe 25, 30 kids.
Whereas private often advertise smaller groups.
Exactly. Private and international schools often highlight smaller class sizes as a key benefit. The best advice, if you can, visit the schools. Go to an open day, get a feel for the place, talk to teachers.
See for yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, if we connect this back to the bigger picture, again, Portugal's commitment to inclusive education really shines through when you look at these support structures.
It does seem quite comprehensive.
It's not just about ticking the box for enrollment. It's about providing actual pathways for all kids, regardless of background or learning needs, to integrate and hopefully thrive within the system. That PLNM structure, the cultural mediators, the special needs reports, it points towards a genuine effort to foster belonging.
Yeah, a long-term vision.
Exactly. More than just basic schooling.
Okay, so to kind of wrap things up, let's pull together some of those really practical tips and maybe highlight a few common pitfalls people should try to avoid. Make this journey a bit smoother.
The quick wins and watchouts.
Right. First one. Always list multiple schools on the portal, especially if you're in a high-demand area. Use all 5 slots if you can. Remember that safety net, DGE-STE? They must place every child. So if you apply widely and still don't get an offer from your list, contact them directly. They have to sort it out.
Don't give up if the first list doesn't work.
Definitely not. Another handy tip. Consider using the gov.pt app on your phone. You can store digital versions of things like your ID card or residence card there, which can be super useful for quick verification with school admins or other official bits and pieces.
Go digital where you can.
Yeah. Now, this one came up again and again. Get your apostilles and official translations done before you move. For school records, birth certificates, vaccination cards. Seriously, doing this in advance saves so much hassle once you're in Portugal trying to juggle everything else.
Cannot emphasize that enough. Huge time saver.
Keep your original documents, or at least certified copies, easily accessible. Even after uploading scans, the school might ask to see the originals at some point.
Good point. Don't pack them away too deep.
If you have more than one child enrolling, make sure you indicate their siblings on the application. As we said, this often gives you priority placement.
Leverage that sibling rule.
And stay informed. Keep an eye on the official websites, Ministry of Education, DGEC, even your local Câmara Municipal, Town Council website. Sometimes deadlines shift slightly or new guidance comes out.
Stay updated.
Finally, what happens after you successfully enroll? You should expect to receive an official enrollment certificate, the Declaração de Matrícula.
Proof of enrollment.
Yep. You'll also get information about textbooks. For public schools, they usually issue vouchers, often around late August, that you use to collect the books. And typically there will be welcome meetings or introductory sessions with teachers before the school year kicks off in September.
So communication continues after the form is submitted.
It should, yes.
You know, what's really fascinating looking back at all this is the sheer amount of collective wisdom that's out there captured in these sources.
Yeah, lots of shared experience.
Exactly. All the advice about being proactive, getting documents ready early, using the digital tools like the portal and the app. It genuinely streamlines what could otherwise feel like a really overwhelming process.
Yeah, turns chaos into steps.
It really does.
Yeah.
And learning to navigate the school system, it kind of gives you a head start on figuring out how a lot of other official things work in Portugal, too. It's like a crash course in Portuguese bureaucracy, but in a good way.
Maybe. So hopefully this deep dive has done its job, armed you with those essential nuggets of knowledge you need for tackling Portuguese school enrollment. We've tried to cut through the noise and give you a clearer roadmap, maybe a bit more confidence.
Absolutely. I think the core takeaway is, yes, there are steps. Yes, there's paperwork. But with some decent planning, understanding how the official process works, and really making use of the resources and support systems that are available, enrolling your child in Portugal can actually be a pretty smooth and successful experience. It really can set your family up well.
Right. So here's a final thought for you to take away and maybe mull over. How might really leaning into the Portuguese education system, not just enrolling, but actively engaging with things like the language support, the school community, the cultural programs, how might that offer more than just academic benefits for your child? Could it open up unforeseen opportunities for your whole family to connect more deeply, to really integrate into the amazing, vibrant tapestry of Portuguese life?
Something to think about.
We invite you to reflect on that as you continue your journey.